So hey, everybody, today's video is going to talk about bass. Bass for guitar players. Well, alternate bass and separating notes within a chord. Bass versus the treble part of a chord, okay? You know, I was playing a little funny, kind of silly kind of thing in the beginning that you've heard a million times in different kinds of, country songs and bluegrass kind of songs. And of course, it's a very, very obvious thing to have to go from the roots of the chord to the fifth of the chord. But everybody, we do that in rock songs too. We do that in R&B songs. We do that in multiple genres of guitar playing and different kinds of styles, so to speak. So what I want to share with you today is a really, really simple little thing that we do that we don't really maybe explore as much. But getting a simple chord, a simple major chord or minor chord, and picking notes within that chord. I always kind of think of it in the sense that here's a simple C chord, C bar chord, simple C bar chord, or an E chord, whatever chord you want to start this kind of thing on. But what we can do a lot of times to really accentuate certain aspects of the chord is to separate the bass to the treble side of the chord. So here's the bass of the chord. The bass of the chord obviously is the root of the chord or the lowest note of the chord, and then the higher part of the chord, of course. So you have the lower part, the bass so to speak of the chord, and the treble, And so here we go. So really simple kind of thing. We're gonna go. Note kind of pattern there. And let's see how much, and listen to how much cooler this is. Versus going. There's nothing wrong with the second way of doing it, but listen to that dimension and that separation from a simple bass note of the chord to the treble note of the chord. The treble, of course, being the higher notes within the chord. So that at that point is a simple root position C chord at the 3rd fret. Now, the treble side is here, the bass side is here. So now we're just going to separate the bass from the treble. Really simple. Even if you're doing a muted rhythm with your palm, you can go up. Real simple 2-chord. Sorry. So I'm going bass, bass, treble, 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 bass, bass, treble. You heard that in rock songs, if you're doing, once again, kind of an R&B kind of funk thing. If you have we'll do like a simple 9 chord, there's a C9 chord, we'll go. It's kind of a James Brown thing. And I'm separating, once again, I'm separating the lower note of the chord with the higher note of the chord. This simple technique thing that is a superimposed in different styles of guitar playing, regardless of whatever style you want to play in, if it's R&B or if it's rock. I show you a couple of those examples already. Really work themselves in a really kind of clever way, because once again, it's not something we really analyze as much when we separate the notes within a chord. So I really wanted to share that aspect of rhythm playing with you today, for the fact that it's something that we all kind of do but don't really give it too much thought. And by doing these little simple nuance oriented things in your playing and in different songs you play, if it's your original music or if it's cover music or whatever other thing you're doing within your style, doing simple little things like this really accentuate the chord, and really give you the full spectrum of the chord when you hear the bass separate from the treble side of the chord. And actually, in kind of a funny way though too, you can go treble bass too. You can go treble. And what does that make us remind? What does that remind us of? It reminds us of piano playing. When you watch somebody play with right hand and left hand on their piano, You hear the bass, you hear the treble side of it too. So this is very piano-like in many ways. And we hear this a lot in, you know, legendary songs like Dream On or whoever else, that we hear the treble side and then the bass side. You can use your fingers. You could even accentuate more if you use a little more technique in your right hand. And sometimes I put my guitar pick in between my first and second finger here, my middle finger and my index finger to kind of show you where, or actually my middle finger and my first finger to kind of show you where I put my pick when I'm doing these kind of things. I'll show you that. So it goes. And once again, I'm also raising my left hand up a little bit. Simple 1-4-5 with all 9 chords. Kind of prove that point that once again, my left hand is helping dictate the coolness of that of those chords by separating those notes from the highs to the lows, from the basses to the trebles. Very fun little cool tidbit of information I want to share with you guys today. And there'll be more to come. Thanks for watching.